It's fixed. Okay, so here's what we have. I will show you what we have start to finish. Month and a half ago. We'll start with that. Month and a half ago. Like immediately after the machine was brought here. We had an oil leak. The oil was leaking out of here. Right there, there's a seal on these drive pumps. Now these pumps have sensors and electronics and all kinds of happy horse shit that goes along with them. Let's see. So they couldn't get a seal kit for the pump because it's too new. So what did they do? They brought in all new pumps. So they ordered all new pumps. Well, in the meantime, the pumps take 3 weeks to come in. So they replaced the pumps. The fellow replaced the pumps. I can't remember his name. I'm terrible with names, so don't hold me to my because I'm terrible with names. And plus I've got a severe headache today. I don't know why. So anyways, he replaces the pumps, the mechanic does a good job, puts it in there, tells me, you know, it's we're gonna do the calibration and we're gonna get the steering issue under control, which to me is awesome because it should be under control. So while he is doing this, he looks in the oil and there's metal in when he takes the pump off. The oil that he drained out of the pump had metal in it, brass. So I was like, ah, great. That's just wonderful. We need brass in the oil like we need a hole in the head. So he says, all right, I'm going to have to order the pump, and that'll be that. So he orders the pump. Okay, as you all know, that I got this brand new pump in here. This is a header drive pump. And he ordered 2 new header drive motors. Well, as you all know, I was a little concerned about the brass that was going to be floating around in that oil, whether it was going to contaminate my oil cooler, whether it was going to contaminate the other pumps. He was concerned also. So he comes with the pump and he puts that in. He puts the motors in. He takes the filter off, this filter right here, and I took the filter. And what I did with the filter was I cut it open and looked inside. There was no brass in there. I mean, there was some, just very tiny, small amount of brass. Well, what he did was he told me that this system is like a recirculatory system. It recirculates about 90% of the oil that it is using. It just recirculates that. So only 10% is being replenished, the 10% coming out of the tank. The tank goes through the cooler. So that's where the inline filter is. So what was happening is 10% of the oil is being recycled into the tank. The metal flakes are heavy, they're brass, they're falling down. What is being sucked through the cooler is 10%. That is getting sent through the strainer, which is only the smallest and lightest particles that we're getting in there, which was literally nothing. So that was okay, you know. I'm like, alright, fine, I can deal with that. The oil, they flushed the lines, they flushed everything out, they flushed the tank, and they replaced the oil, they run the header runs fine. But when they go to calibrate the wheels, it won't calibrate. So that was last Friday. Last Friday they spent 13 hours or so on this machine, putting the pump in, flushing the system, and trying to calibrate the drive wheels. Now this thing was up off its blocks. Now I made a really obnoxious video. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to post it. I probably will, but it'll be in lightheartedness. It won't be that the machine's a piece of junk or anything. It just means that they had problems because, honestly, the calibration had nothing to do with the pumps. It had to do with voltage. So, right here, and this isn't the one, there's a dial here. I could show you which one it is. It's here. This is where your voltage is metered. So as this thing, as pressure, you have to equalize the voltage. He was 0.02 volts over the amount allowed by the computer to do the calibration. So it was kicking it out every time. So for 13 hours. Now today they got here at 6:30 and they continued to work on it until 4:30, till they finally got a call back from New Holland that the voltage was wrong. They had to take a video and they said back it off. Well, I guess these are dials. I'm not even 100% sure what they do or how they work. So they got the voltage within the parameters and it calibrated, and it is better. It's still not as awesome as they portray it in the television and advertisement, that this thing will drive like a NASCAR, because it isn't going to. It just isn't. It doesn't steer like it's supposed to. Well, no, it steers like it's supposed to. It doesn't steer like they advertise it should steer. When I bought this thing, they assured me that I was going to be so happy with the steering that I won't even want to drive my truck. I'll want to drive this thing around. Well, that's not the case. It's better than the old machine. The thing that really scares the hell out of you is the fact that you're going 25 miles an hour down the road. You're not going 16. You're going 10 miles an hour faster, and you're over a foot wider. So, does it steer worse than before? I'm not sure. Anyways, the other thing was these wheels. I have these very special wheels put on here because I make mulch hay. And sometimes it's wet out. I have wet ground around here. So I put these great big balloony tires on here, 16.5L, 16.1 tires. I have, and I'm going to point to them, the original tires that belong on there. These belong with these axles. I had them changed over to the Prairie Special with the really wide. They're wide so that it's a nice, clean, clear inner line here. So I did that special. So what he told me to do was, because it's dry now, is to actually take these wheels off, these tires off, and put the other ones on and see if that alleviates some of this rocking and rolling, because we're pitched forward. You can see the whole machine is pitched forward. The axle is straight ahead, straight across. Everything is, you know, tilted forward. So what I'm gonna do is actually pop those wheels off of there and put the other wheels, the other tires on there, and see if that helps in the ride, whether I'm going to get the, because what it does, it throws you so far forward, you're constantly rocking and rolling. I feel like a baby rocking to sleep. It's crazy. So that's what I'm going to do, and then tomorrow I'm going to go and I'm going to mow some hay, and I mean a lot of hay, and hopefully I can get through the day without my hands falling asleep, because that's what was happening. And I'll put Dad in there and see what Dad says about the whole deal. If his hands fall asleep, he gets a stiff neck from it. Now the old machine, he has no problems with. So I don't know, but we're back in the field, which is an exciting thing because I've been down for over 2 weeks with this machine. They did bring me my old machine back, but my old machine has its own set of issues which weren't resolved at Messick's when it went back there. So they have come back to haunt me. Literally come back to haunt me. So that machine is here. I'm going to run them both so I can get caught up and finished, and hopefully everything goes the way I want it to go. But anyhow, that's it. Speedrower 240s back in the field, and I will tell you this. If I continue to have problems with this thing, there will be a green one sitting here. That's it. I'm not going to say anything to Messick's. I'm just going to say, sorry guys, it's going out the door, and I'm going to get a John Deere in here. So, thanks for watching.